Question 2E, factor completely. How many times factor completely means factor how many times? Remember? Factor completely means factor twice. You got to know the factoring techniques. So we've got GCF, followed by dots is number 2. And number 3 is the one that's probably most common, trinomial. Ooh, sloppy, there we go. Okay, GCF dots trinomial. Factor completely. Which technique do you always try first? GCF. Is there a number they both have in common? Now, do they have any letters in common? Do they have any variables in common? So I'm actually going to bring this right out into the open for me because I like to work in the center. Okay. Do these both have a letter, both of these terms? No, he's got x squared, he's got none, so I can't take out an x. Good news for me, it's even easier. The next question becomes, what's the GCF? What's the greatest number that divides into 4 that also divides into 36? Now, remember, it's not going to be any bigger than 4 because 9 goes into 36, but 9 doesn't divide into 4. 9's too big, so it's either going to be 4 or smaller. 4 goes into 4. 4 does go into 36. Your GCF is 4. So now that I know my GCF is 4, I'd like to write it off to the side. I've always been like that. I don't know why. GCF is 4, so we take the 4 out. We're reducing it by a factor of 4. When you reduce it by a factor of 4, we're dividing the 4 away. 36 divided by 4, and then we'll do negative 4x squared divided by 4. And then after we divide out the 4, that remaining expression goes in the parentheses. 36 divided by 4 is what? 9. Negative 4 divided by 4, well, those cancel out, so I'm just left with negative x squared. Okay, and that's factored once. Factor completely means factor twice. So now that we've done GCF, is this going to be finished with a dots or with a trinomial? Give you a hint. Think about the word trinomial. This is going to be dots. Dots is the difference of two squares. I got 2 people here. Trinomial, you need 3 players, kind of. You need 3 people in here for trinomial to work. I've only got 2. This is dots. Dots is just a quick memorization factoring, and once you got it, you're good. So bring your 4 down from earlier, 4 parentheses, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you dots, you're square rooting. What number times itself is 9? Or you can just do the square root of 9, which is the same question. It's 3. Since 9 was in the first position, 3 will go in the first position of each parenthesis. Copy, paste. Square root of 9 is 3, so 3 and 3. If this was 16 in here, what would the numbers be in the first spot? 16 would be in the front, would be in the front. 4 and 4, okay? So just quick little quiz there. X squared, when you take the square root of an exponent, you cut it in half. So what's half of 2? 1. So it's going to be x to the invisible 1, x to the invisible 1. We don't write the invisible 1. Okay, so just kind of a quick thought here. Don't write this part down in orange, but like if we had in here, for instance, x to the 10th power, this would become x5, x5. Okay, it would look just like that. Okay, it's not, but just if it did, that's what it would look like. So let me get rid of all that so we don't have any confusion. We got rid of the x. Come back. Here we go. Signs in the middle. What is it? Plus, plus, minus, minus. It's a rule. Just got to memorize it. One's a plus, one's a minus, period. They're like good twin, bad twin. They're identical in every way except for the signs in the middle. This question is all done. Now, a question I get all the time is, how do you know when you're done factoring? Good rule of thumb is you don't see any more exponents. When you factor completely, 99.9% of the time, I'm assuming on this Regents it's going to be the same, all of your exponents will be gone. Everything's going to be one-dimensional, not 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, so this question is all done. If you need more practice with these, remember there are worksheets posted to Google Classroom with answer keys that you can practice these to your heart's content. Okay, should be getting easier as you do them.